2019 elections on my mind, with barely a year or just a little above counting down, as political stakeholders in Nigeria begin subtle preparations towards 2019 elections. Rivers State, time again, has presented one of the fiercest rivalry in recent political history, with two political heavyweights in the state, namely the PDP led by the incumbent governor and the APC led by the transport minister. There are anxieties that the rivalry could get out of control if not carefully handled, with indications of internal squabbles in the Rivers State APC. How prepared is it for the forthcoming polls in the state? It's question time. Welcome to the show. I'm Benga Ashuru. Our guest in this episode is Nigeria's transport minister and a leader in the APC in Rivers State, Chibike Amaechi. He joins us in this interview.
I thought you said you were here to deal with Minister of Transportation issues. Well, you just wait.
Because you are a key player in the Rivers politics and people would want to know
former governor of Rivers
where it stands.
Ex-politician, not...
Ex-politician?
You know,
no, but you are still the leader of APC in your state.
Did you ever hear me say that?
Okay, but when you look at people are perceiving a big crack within the APC in your state.
Why don't you wait until the election? That's when you know whether there's a crack or not.
Are you saying there is no crack in the APC?
So wait until the election has come and gone. That's when you know whether there's a crack or not. So
what are you doing to, because people are expecting that you're going to lead the APC in the election contest come 2019 in Rivers State, and people just want to know what plans are you coming up with?
If I tell you my plans, how would PDP not? Who's not the governor? It's the people.
Considering that it was once your chief of staff, is there a possibility of political reconciliation between both parties?
What is the quarrel? You have to first establish a quarrel. It's a matter of ideological differences. First, I believe in the people, so I came in and said free education. It wasn't as if there was money.
People feel that there is no love lost between you and the current governor, and they feel that it's costing Rivers State a lot.
Please tell me what I'm doing. I hardly go to Rivers State. What am I doing that will cost Rivers State a lot? I'm not the governor of Rivers State. I don't take Rivers State money. When I was governor, I applied Rivers money on projects in Rivers State. If you visited Rivers State when I was governor, you will see the primary schools that we built. They are still there. No matter what the governor does, the projects are still there. I hired teachers, 13,200 teachers. They are alive.
Is there a possibility of reconciliation?
Can we deal with the issue? Because I don't see any quarrel. It's the issue of development. Can we deal with those issues? And there are issues that even he has turned them to be controversial because he's not able to face them. You know, somebody said to me when I was governor, when you leave, the shoes will be too big for who will succeed you. And I thought it was a joke. Now, so I established primary schools. Right? The primary schools are there. They are not longer maintained. When I was there, we appointed a contractor whose responsibility it was to come to work in the morning like the children and take care of everything in the school. If a child broke any of these things, you replace them immediately, and government paid. We introduced free education. And what kind of free education did we introduce? We paid school fees for the children and handed over to the school to maintain the structure. We send people overseas to go and study medicine, engineering, ICT, very few of them law and economics. The governor said, oh, they were studying literature. They are from Mina. They are from Sokoto. And don't forget, to show how Nigerian we were, we said anybody who was born in Rivers State, lives in Rivers State with his or her parents, pay taxes in Rivers State, is entitled to that scholarship.
Now, you said something that Governor Wike has only one agenda, which is Chibike Amaechi. And do you feel, in the interest of people of Rivers State, that you need to respond to some of those agendas leveled against you?
No. There's no need to respond. Why should I engage him? He was local government chairman when I was speaker. He was my staff. It's like quarreling with my son.
Does that suggest a kind of ego tripping?
No, what ego is that? First and foremost, he's the governor of Rivers State.
Are we putting the interest of the people forward now before any other
When
interest?
you say interest of the people, you must show me where there is a conflict. Minister for Transport, I deal with transportation issues as a concerned the nation. Governor of Rivers State, he deals with this thing. He manages Rivers State resources. Now, when I was there,
the issue is we know that you still wield a cult followership. People still have this fanatical devotion towards you in Rivers State. You have a towering influence in Rivers State. There's no way we could talk about Rivers State politics without mentioning Chibike Amaechi. So there's no way we can ignore that fact.
That is a style of leadership. I've just told you here. Now, when I came in as governor of Rivers State, I looked at the people who were poor. And I said, okay, everybody said, why should I establish that policy? Rivers money for Rivers people. So I now ask Rivers people, turn to be contractors. Go and construct roads. We'll pay you for the roads you will construct. Go and build primary schools, build health centers. I built 150 health centers in Rivers State. I did. And in those health centers, you had doctors' quarters, nurses' quarters, and they were in the rural areas. I built the dental hospital, completed it free of charge. Anybody who went into the dental hospital will be, for as soon as you finish, we first had to get private investors to come in to manage it. And we paid for every patient that came to that hospital. We established the Kirsty Harrison Hospital and got an American firm, even though it was in Nigeria that was a managing director, to manage that hospital. And we paid for every patient that came into that hospital. We introduced free education up to secondary school level. When I say free education, it's not the political one, they just declare free education, there are no desk, no writing materials, nothing. Here, you had desk, you had new teachers, because sometimes when I went to primary school myself, I would see 2 teachers. The man who is a graduate in history was teaching history, literature, English.
One of his grievances is that you left an empty treasury. He's alleging that you left an empty treasury in Rivers State.
So how did he start, if I left an empty treasury? You know, the difference between myself as a governor, what he's been trying to do he doesn't know how to manage the influence. So what he tries to do is to water it down. Let's start. Let's assume that I left an empty treasury. So how did he start his government? He came in, there was no power. We borrowed a total of about 350 billion. And we paid down to 15 billion by the time we were leaving government. You should compare it to other governors who borrowed money. We paid down, and the only reason why we couldn't pay the remaining 15 billion was that we ran out of cash. We are disciplined. We refused to share money. They didn't have us buy cars when we had money to pay for when we had scholarships to pay overseas.
Okay, now Nigerians are looking up to this administration now. This is a parting word from you now. Nigerians want to hear a strong word of commitment from you.
Look, the first is that we must continue to thank God for the life of our president. He's very determined to change the country. And the first problem you and I should identify that is the problem of Nigeria is the management of our resources. Look, those countries that used to respect us in Africa don't respect us anymore. Because we are not able to manage our resources in a manner that would have located us in the same place as Singapore, as Malaysia. These were our peers those days. Now we are competing with, I don't want to call, for the sake of diplomacy, I don't want to call the name of the countries that then used to look up to us. Now they are either our pair or they have surpassed us. Before, you couldn't talk to any country in Africa without talking to us.
So going forward, what's the way forward?
The way forward is to continue with the development, the provision of infrastructure that the president is currently driving. He insists that we must provide infrastructure, grow what we eat. So before we used to import $3 billion worth of chicken, $2 billion worth of fish. Now all that reduced, rice has been banned. We now produce our own local rice. Tomato has been banned because we now produce our own tomatoes. So he wants to make sure that by the time we leave office, our bill for food items will have been reduced drastically. That implies that we feed ourselves directly. And then the resources that come from oil will help to diversify the economy. Now we are growing the manufacturing industrial sector. we are growing the transport sector, we are growing the agricultural sector. Just imagine this trade. Once you do this trade, you will not be dependent on oil anymore.
Honorable Minister of Transport, Chibuike Amaechi, thank you so much for making our time to be part of this episode of Question Time. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.